Marhaba, this is the Arab Gamer, gaming from the Arab world. The purpose of my show is to give you a bit of an insight on what it's like gaming from the Arab world, and talk about the different stuff I like to do or watch and play or whatever. You'll also be wondering why my show is in English and not in Arabic. The main reason is because I want to make my show international. And at the same time, ما بدي إياكم تقروا subtitles وأنتوا عم تتفرجوا على البروجرام يا عزيز. So, I apologize if I do any grammar mistakes, but then again, it's the internet. Hope you enjoyed my first episode.
Ah, summer. That time of the year where you have nothing to do. A perfect time to catch up on your hobbies, such as reading a book on the couch, with the afternoon sunlight slowly sweeping in. Or learn how to cook quiche. Maybe watch a movie. You know, be a little adventurous. How about no? I don't know about you, but there's only one thing I want to do in summer. That's right, I want to jump, run, drive, fly, talk, shoot, and murder people around the world. This is the reason we all love summer. You can't spend too much time outside because of the heat. No school, maybe a side job, but it pretty much gives you, the gamer, an excuse to sit your ass down and play some video games.
Now imagine if summer was 70% of the year.
That's right, the Arab world can get really hot. No, like really damn hot. There are even certain days where people aren't allowed to leave their houses. Kind of like a snowstorm but with sun? Yeah. So that means a lot of Arabs sit at home in summer to play, you guessed it, video games.
Most places in the Arab world have no summer jobs. Mainly because no one would hire you based on a 2 to 3 month contract. In the Middle East, it is a bit of a culture thing as well. We do live where the oil is, after all.
So what really kicked off gaming in the Arab world? Well, way before my time, there was the obvious Atari, and eventually the family computer. For those of you wondering, the family computer, or Famicom, is the equivalent of that of the NES.
We did actually have one Arab gaming system.
The Sakhr was actually my first gaming system, which was also, surprise, the MSX2, fully translated in Arabic. It had a whole list of games, including the first official Metal Gear. Unfortunately, I lost mine a long time ago. The surprising thing is, this was the only gaming system that was completely translated in Arabic. Huh.
Even with today's technology, no one has ever bothered translating another gaming console in Arabic, which is sad. But what came after the Sakhr was this beauty.
That's right, the Sega Mega Drive, also known in the States as the Sega Genesis. The reason we got the Mega Drive is because some smartass decided to group us with Europe, which eventually led to the worst thing ever created in history.
Regions.
No, I mean, I'm serious. That's the worst! This means we tend to get games a lot later than the US. Sometimes lasting almost a year later. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy X.
The SNES and the Mega Drive both had a successful run, but it was the Mega Drive that won in the end due to its cheap price and its popularity of Sonic over Mario.
After the Mega Drive came quite the transition. A new age of 3D gaming was upon us. No, not that 3D. I'm talking about polygons, baby. Or this.
Gamers here wanted to follow Sega with the Saturn, but that came too early with a price tag that just didn't make sense.
The N64 was on the way, which promised amazing graphics and solid games like Mario and Zelda. But those also came with a ridiculous price tag.
You see, gaming was still new in the Arab world, so it was kind of hard convincing your parents to buy you a system that was too expensive.
Oh my god, Nintendo 64! Nintendo 64! Ah, Nintendo 64!
Dad?
What do you want, son?
Nintendo 64?
How much?
300 euros.
What? What do you think? I'm made out of money? What is wrong with your sucker? Don't play with it now. I don't want to see your face. They want me to buy everything for them. They should work.
Made things even worse were the bias conversions. Let's say a typical N64 costed around $200. Here they would just change the dollars with dinars and there you go! Due to this, PC gaming was at an all-time high. The games were cheaper and could be pirated easily. But some people couldn't afford the PC rig and couldn't bother themselves with the technical details of the PC. They would be at a loss without a Nintendo or a Sega console. But then, out of nowhere, like a ray of light!
That's right, the Sony PlayStation. This baby came down like thunder from a cloudless sky. Everyone had a PlayStation in the Arab world. Your friends, your cousins, your niece, your second cousin from another mother, firstborn baby, your grandmother. Huh? Everyone! The PlayStation was a freaking nuclear missile that exploded, but instead of death and agony, there was joy and happiness. You might be asking yourself, why did the PlayStation, a console which no one knew about before, explode in the Arab world? 3 reasons. It came at a reasonable price, it had a great library of games, and it let you play pirated copies easily.
You might have noticed that I mentioned piracy a lot in this episode. That's because it played a major role here in the Arab gaming world, which I'll be sure to talk about in the next episode.
Third-party publishers had to pay extra cash if they wanted to support the N64 cartridge, which is why many opted to go for the cheaper PlayStation. The game's length could also be expanded thanks to swapping out discs, which led to many titles being longer. This also gave developers a lot more room to be creative by utilizing FMVs and MP3 audios to give the player a more compelling experience.
Sony's first gaming console, so it depended heavily on third-party publishers to succeed, which is why I like to call the PlayStation the third-party console.
The PlayStation was also a benchmark for the gaming industry as a whole. Titles such as Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, and Galarians showed us that games were no longer about reaching the goal or clearing the stage, but more about the journey itself.
Needless to say, many Arab gamers of today look up to these titles as the sole reason of why they love video games. I remember going to school and many people used to talk about Crash Bandicoot, Cloud Strife, Solid Snake more than Sonic and Mario. And this happened in a span of a year. I know I'm sounding very biased here, but I really do love the N64. In fact, my cousin had one and I used to be really jealous of him because he had awesome games like Ocarina of Time and Mario 64. I used to go to his house all the time and play those games. But the N64 in general was just not a big of a hit as much as the PlayStation was here. Up to this day, gamers in the Arab world still support the PlayStation with the PS3. In the next episode, I'll be talking about how piracy played a huge role in the region. Please make sure to subscribe, comment, give me your feedback. This is my first episode here and I'd like to hear stuff from you. And to all the Arab gamers who are watching this, please send me your stories and I'd love to talk about them. This is the Arab Gamer, gaming from the Arab world.